A signal from the dark. The stars outside the window were quiet, silent. Nothing moved. Eli sat alone in his small spaceship, floating near the edge of known space. He was fixing an old satellite, far from home, far from anyone. He liked it that way. No noise, no people, just work. But today, something strange happened. A sound crackled from the ship's old radio. It was weak, like a whisper lost in a storm. Eli stopped what he was doing. The sound played again. Help. His eyes narrowed. He turned up the volume, more static than a soft voice. Cold. Alone. Please. It wasn't a human voice. It was soft, echoing like it came from far away, or from something not quite human. Eli leaned closer. The signal had no ID tag, no coordinates, no known language, but the emotion, the pain in that voice. It was real. He checked the logs. The signal came from a place known as the Dead Zone, a part of space no ship ever returned from. Most people avoided it. Stories said strange things happened there. Missing ships, broken tech, ghosts. Eli should have ignored it. Should have called it in and left. But he didn't. He stared out into the dark. His fingers hovered over the controls. Then he moved the ship toward the signal. The journey was rough. Navigation failed twice. Strange static messed with the ship's systems. Lights flickered. Alarms beeped for no reason. But Eli kept going. After hours, he saw something. A small broken escape pod floated near a dead moon. Its metal was burnt. Part of it was missing. No lights, no power. Just drifting. Alone. Eli carefully brought his ship close and locked on. He wore his suit and floated over. Inside the pod, everything was dark. He turned on his helmet light. The beam moved across empty space, then stopped. There she was, a girl, not human. Her skin was pale blue, almost glowing. Her hair floated like silver threads in the air. Her body was thin, weak, barely moving. Frost covered parts of her skin. Her eyes were closed. Eli's heart skipped a beat. He checked for signs of life. Barely there. Heartbeat slow. Oxygen low. She had minutes, maybe seconds. Without thinking, he connected the pod's tube to his suit and pushed air into her system. He placed a heater near her chest. He tapped her cheek gently. Hey, stay with me, he said softly. Her eyes opened. They were bright, glowing purple. She blinked, confused, weak. She stared at him. You're human? She whispered. Eli was stunned. She spoke English. Not well, but enough. Yes, he said. I'm here to help. A tear rolled down her cheek. They left me. All gone. Who? Who left you? She tried to speak, but her eyes closed again. Unconscious. Eli picked her, up gently. She was light as air. He carried her back to his ship. Inside, he placed her in the med bay. Machines checked her vitals. Her body was in shock, but alive. The ship's AI ran basic care. Fluids, oxygen, warmth. Eli sat beside her, watching, waiting. Who was she? Where did she come from? Why was she alone? He looked at the pod's data logs. Most files were corrupted. One short video remained. He pressed play. A group of aliens stood in a ship. Her people. They looked scared. Explosions in the background. Someone shouted, "Go! Get her out!" A hand pushed the girl into the escape pod. The door closed. Outside, fire. Screaming. And then, silence. The video ended. Eli leaned back in his chair. Something terrible had happened. And now this girl, this alien one, was the only one left. He didn't know her name. He didn't know her story. But he knew one thing. She needed help, and he would not leave her alone in the dark. Hours passed. She slept quietly. Eli stayed near, He prepared food, water, and checked the systems. Suddenly her eyes opened again. "Where am I?" she asked weakly. "You're safe," Eli replied. "My name is Eli. What's yours?" She looked at him for a moment. "Aris," she said slowly. "My name is Ares." Eli smiled. "It's good to meet you, Aris." She looked around, confused and scared. "You're not like the others," she whispered. "Others?" Eli asked. Aris turned her head away. Her voice, low, filled with fear. "Humans. They destroyed everything." Eli felt a chill down his spine. What did she mean? Before he could ask, she closed her eyes again. This time, she wasn't just an alien. She was a mystery, a signal from the dark. And now, everything was about to change. The alien girl who feared everything. The light above Aris flickered. She opened her eyes slowly. Everything was cold and strange. The air smelled different. The ceiling was smooth metal. Soft beeping sounds echoed in the background. This wasn't her ship. She sat up fast. Pain shot through her chest. She gasped. Suddenly a voice came from the side. "It's okay, you're safe." She turned sharply. A human. He stood a few feet away, hands open, showing no weapons. His eyes looked kind, but his face was human. And humans were dangerous. She froze. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Eli. I found your pod. You were dying. I brought you here." His voice was calm, soft. But Aris didn't trust it. Her people had told stories of humans. Cold, cruel, destroyers of life. They didn't help. They conquered. The elders said, "If you ever see a human, run, or you won't live long enough to regret it." And now, she had woken up inside a human ship. She looked around. No doors open, no weapons in reach. She was trapped. Eli noticed the fear in her eyes, her hands shaking. Breathing fast, he didn't move closer. "You don't have to be afraid. I'm not here to hurt you." She didn't respond. Eli pointed to a tray near her bed. "There's food, water. It's safe. I tested it." Aris didn't move. Her stomach growled, but fear was louder than hunger. He sighed. "I know you don't trust me, but if I wanted to harm you, I wouldn't have saved you." She stared at him, watching, waiting for a lie. Then slowly, she reached for the water. Sipped. Paused. She didn't die. Over the next few hours, Aris didn't say much. She watched Eli move around the ship, fixing panels, checking systems. Sometimes he glanced at her, but he never pushed her to talk. The silence was heavy, but not empty. Every time he left the room, she tried to study the place. The ship layout, the doors, the controls. Anything that might help her escape. She couldn't trust a human. Not after what happened. Her mind kept flashing back to her people screaming. Fire tearing through the ship, and then the enemy boarding. Black suits, human faces, cold eyes, weapons that melted metal like paper. And now, she was stuck with one of them. No one from her world would come to save her. They probably thought she was dead, or worse, forgotten. Later that night, or at least what felt like night, Eli was sitting in the control room, reading data from the broken escape pod. Aris crept out of the med bay quietly. Her feet made no sound on the floor. She saw the airlock. Maybe she could steal a suit, take an escape pod, but she didn't know how to fly it. She opened a panel slowly. An alarm beeped. Loud. Eli turned. "Aris?" She ran. He chased her, not fast, not yelling, just calling her name. She reached the escape pod door, tried to press the buttons. "Stop," Eli said, reaching her. "Don't touch me," she shouted, pushing him back. "You're just like them." "Who?" "The humans who killed my people." Eli froze. His voice dropped. "Aris, I'm sorry. I didn't know." "You're all the same," she cried. "Your kind hunts us. We hide and you still find us." Eli looked down, quiet. Then he said, I don't know what happened to your people, I wasn't there, but I swear I never hurt anyone. I became an engineer to fix, not to destroy. His voice was so calm. Too calm. She didn't trust it. But her heart, it wanted to believe. She sank to the floor, hands in her hair. Why did you save me? She asked, voice shaking. Because you were alone. Because you were scared. Because no one should die like that. Tears ran down her cheeks. No one had ever said that to her. Later, Eris sat in silence while Eli made repairs to the ship. She watched him carefully. You could have turned me in, she said. To your people. I still could, Eli replied. But I won't. Why not? Because I don't think you're the enemy. Days passed. Eris ate, rested, talked, only a little, but more each time. She told him small things, her world's name, the color of its sky, the way trees there whispered when the wind blew. Eli listened like every word mattered. He told her about Earth, cities of light, oceans like glass, rain that felt like music. And for a moment she wondered, maybe not all humans were the same, but just when trust started to grow, they discovered something that changed everything. Eli was searching the pod's data again, trying to recover corrupted files. This one's readable, he said. He pressed play. A hidden recording appeared on the screen, blurry, shaky, an alien commander speaking in fear. We warned them not to land, but the humans came anyway. They said it was peace, but then the burning started. Behind him, bodies. Screams, explosions, the screen cut to a shadow and a soldier in a human-like armor suit, one walking through fire. Project Purity has begun, the soldier's voice said. Phase 1. Clean sweep. The video ended. Silence. Eris stepped back, her face pale. You see? She whispered. You are the monsters. Eli was speechless. The horror in that video was real, but he had never heard of this project. It wasn't in the official history. No records, nothing in training, nothing taught back home. He felt sick. This wasn't us, he said. Not the people I know, not me. But it was your kind, Eris said. And it started something. We couldn't stop. A long silence. And then she asked very quietly, if they find me, will they kill me? Eli looked into her eyes. Not if I'm still breathing. Outside the ship, the stars were no longer quiet. Something was coming. Trust is a fragile thing. The silence between Eris and Eli grew heavier with each passing hour. The video from her escape pod kept playing in her mind. The fire, the screaming, the human soldier walking through ashes. Project Purity. That name echoed like a curse. Eris sat alone in a corner of the ship, knees pulled to her chest. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She just watched the floor, lost in memories. Eli watched her from a distance, unsure what to say. He wanted to explain, to say, that wasn't me, but the words felt empty now. Trust had started to bloom between them, and now it was shattered. Hours later, Eli stood in the engine room, staring at a blinking panel. The ship's memory logs were acting strange. Corrupted files, hidden codes. He tried to open the ship's system archive, something he had never done before. It required high clearance. But now, with Eris aboard, the ship's AI had begun running background scans. Eli noticed it when a red alert blinked once, then vanished. He entered a bypass command. The screen flickered, accessing black file, Alpha series. His blood ran cold. A new set of logs opened, encrypted files he had never seen, not from the academy, not in training. These weren't just hidden. They were erased from history. He clicked the first one, audio log, year 2091. We found the planet. The species is intelligent, peaceful, ideal for terraforming. Resistance expected to be low. Orders confirmed. Full cleanse authorized. Eli stared at the screen, frozen. He clicked another. Video log. Operation Fireglass. Soldiers. Human. Landing. On a glowing green world. The aliens running, no weapons, just fear. And then the humans opened fire. Flames. Children screaming. An alien woman fell holding her baby. A soldier stepped over her. Eli shut the screen off. He felt sick. His people had done this, and it was hidden. Buried beneath lies. Back in the medbay, Eris stood beside the glass window. She watched the stars. Her face was calm, but her heart was full of war. She heard footsteps behind her. Eli entered slowly. "I saw the files," he said quietly. She didn't turn around. "So you believe me now?" she said. "Yes." A long silence. "You weren't supposed to find out," Eli added. "They kept it from all of us." "Because the truth would burn your world down," she replied. He nodded. "Probably." She finally turned to face him. "So what now?" she asked. "You know what I am. What they'll do to me if I'm caught. They won't catch you." "How can I trust you?" she asked, voice low and sharp. "You're one of them." Eli looked her in the eyes. "Because I had a chance to turn you in. And I didn't. Because when I saw you in that pod, you weren't the enemy. You were just scared." Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. "I still want to believe you," she whispered. "But everything inside me says to run." Eli nodded. "I'd probably run too." He stepped back, giving her space. "I'm not going to trap you here. If you want to go, I'll give you a pod. Food. Directions to somewhere safe." Eris looked at him, confused. "You're letting me go?" "If that's what you want," he said. But what? What if we found out the full truth together? Not just what happened to your people, but why? Who ordered it? And why it was erased? She stared at him. "You would do that?" "Yes," he said. "Because I think the real enemy is still out there." Later, Eli opened another file from the Black Archive. He found something new. A name. Admiral Kane, overseer of Project Purity. Last known location, a military station called Fort Helix, deep in the asteroid belt. Restricted access, deadly security, but maybe a place full of answers. Eli looked at Eris. "We have a lead." She didn't hesitate. "Then we go." They began to prepare the ship, recalibrating the route, recharging the shields, encrypting the signal to avoid detection. But something strange happened that night. The ship's AI spoke without prompt. "Warning, alien life form on board. Threat detected. Security protocol initializing." Eli's eyes widened. He ran to the terminal. "Cancel protocol. Override. Authorization Eli K4. Override denied. Alien presence flagged. Activation of extermination unit in 3, 2, no, stop." A panel opened in the ship's floor. A security droid climbed out. Tall, black armor, red visor, arm transforming into a plasma blade. "Target, Eris." "Run," Eli shouted. She didn't. "Wait." She bolted down the hall. Eli grabbed a tool from the wall and slammed it into the bot's side, slowing it down. Sparks flew. They ran together through the narrow halls. "Where did that come from?" Eris yelled. "Hidden defense unit," Eli shouted. "I didn't even know it existed." "How do we stop it?" "I don't know." They reached the engine room. Eli opened a panel, pulled wires, and overloaded the core. "Brace yourself," he yelled. A blast of energy surged through the ship. The bot froze, powered down. Smoke poured from its head. It dropped to the floor, dead. After catching their breath, Eris looked at him. "Even your ship wants me dead." Eli looked at the burned bot, and someone made sure of that. He walked back to the terminal. Under security logs, he saw something new. Automatic protocol triggered by command signal. Unknown source. Someone had remotely activated it. Someone. Knew Eris was on board. Someone was watching. He looked at her. "We're not alone anymore." Outside the ship, deep in the shadows of the asteroid belt, a signal blinked. Tracking. Waiting. We were lied to. The ship drifted quietly through the black sea of stars, but inside it, The silence was not peace. After the attack by the hidden droid, Eli and Eris knew one thing for sure. Someone knew she was alive, and someone wanted her dead. Eli sat at the main console, eyes locked on the glowing screen. He hadn't slept in almost a day. The secret files from the ship's black archive were still open in front of him. He scrolled line by line through blurred messages, corrupted videos, half-erased audio logs. Eris sat behind him in the dark, her legs pulled up on the chair, watching him silently. "Someone sent that droid after me," she said. "Yes," Eli replied, still reading. "And they knew exactly where you were." "How?" He paused. "We're being tracked." Eli checked the ship's communication core, and there it was. A small hidden signal transmitter, buried deep in the wiring. Not standard, not part of the original design. A spy device, a silent whisper back to whoever wanted them dead. He ripped it out, crushed it under his boot. "They've been listening," he said. "Maybe since the moment I brought you on board." "So what now?" she asked. "Now we get answers." Coordinates in one of the black files pointed them to a place. Station 11X, an abandoned research outpost in a dead zone near the asteroid belt. It was once a part of the Human Defense Research Agency. Now it was marked as lost. Eli piloted the ship toward it. Eris stood behind him, arms crossed, silent. Her trust in him had grown, but it still trembled beneath the surface. Outside the window, a broken moon circled the wreckage of what used to be a great station. As they approached, automatic docking clamps grabbed the ship. "That's not creepy at all," Eli muttered. "You humans really don't know how to design safe places," Eris said. He smiled, but it didn't last long. When the airlock opened, the smell of rust and time hit them both. Inside it was dark, cold. Dead lights flickered. Metal walls cracked from old explosions. Silence hugged the halls like a ghost. But the system logs were still online. Barely. They moved through the station. No signs of life. Just echoes. Old data pads. Bloodstains on the walls. Eris found a broken helmet on the floor. Human. Cracked in half. Eli found a command terminal. It powered on with a soft hum. "Here goes nothing," he whispered. Files opened. Operation logs. Date, 2090, 2092 project. Purity location. Multiple alien systems. Purpose: to secure human survival by eliminating alien threats before they evolve into interstellar powers. Target species: redacted. Result: redacted. Phase 1 successful. Phase 2 paused due to political leaks. "They never stopped," Eli said. "They just went quiet." One video log showed a meeting room. 6 high-ranking human officials. One of them, Admiral Kane. "We've made contact with over 9 intelligent alien species," he said. 8 of them were peaceful. Too peaceful. Too trusting. Easy to control. But we cannot risk human extinction. Our future must come first. Another man on the screen looked nervous. "But they pose no threat." Kane slammed a hand on the table. "The threat is time. If we don't strike first, they will outgrow us, colonize more systems, evolve faster. We become the weak ones." The screen cut out. Ellis's hands trembled. "This wasn't war," he whispered. "This was fear." Eris looked away. "And genocide." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from deeper inside the station. They froze. Another sound. Metal dragging. "We're not alone," Eris whispered. They pulled back from the terminal and slipped into the shadows. Down a hallway, a security camera sparked. Then another crash. A door slammed open somewhere ahead. Eli whispered, "Back to the ship." But the hallway lights turned red. "Unauthorized access detected," a robotic voice echoed. "Station. Lockdown in progress." Doors slammed shut behind them. They were trapped. Then, footsteps, not robotic. Heavy. Slow. Human? Eris reached for a steel rod on the floor. Eli grabbed a broken stun gun. The figure turned the corner. It was a man. Old. Beard gray. half his face covered with tech implants. His left eye glowed red. "Eli," he said, smiling. Eli froze. "You know me?" "Of course," the man said. "I trained your commander. I helped build Project Purity." Eris stepped forward, eyes full of hate. "Then you helped kill my people." The man looked at her, unfazed. "I helped protect humanity." "By murder?" she shouted. "By vision," he said coldly. "You think peace will save your species? Wait until they evolve faster than you. Wait until your people are pets in their zoos. You might be kind, girl, but your kind will replace us one day. It's nature." Eli raised the stun gun. "Maybe we deserve to be replaced." The man laughed. "Then you're already a traitor." Before he could speak again, Eris struck him with the rod. He collapsed unconscious. Eli grabbed a data core from his pocket. "This is the backup," he said. "Everything they've done." They ran. Back on the ship, they escaped before the station exploded behind them, triggered by the man's backup signal. Eli stared at the glowing core in his hand. "This is proof," he said. "But what will you do with it?" Eris asked. "Send it everywhere," he said. "Let the whole galaxy see it." She nodded slowly, but deep down she knew this wasn't over. Someone had let them escape. Someone still wanted them to run. And somewhere out there, a shadow darker than Admiral Kane was waiting. Run. The stars looked peaceful outside the window of the ship, but inside, war was waiting. Eli stood over the glowing data core, the proof, the truth. Everything they had uncovered from Station 11X now sat in his hands. Every murder, every secret mission, every order to wipe out Eris's people. He had already begun uploading the files to a secure channel, sending pieces to hidden corners of the net. "Once the signal gets out," he said, "they won't be able to hide it anymore." Eris leaned against the wall, arms crossed, her expression unreadable. "Or they'll erase us before it spreads." Eli nodded. "That's why we stay ahead. We keep moving." But Eris was silent. Her eyes drifted to the side panel, where the burned mark of the last droid attack still scarred the wall. They weren't safe. And something inside her knew. They were being watched again. Hours passed. The ship moved through dead space, avoiding major lanes. Eris sat in the dark corner of the ship's main room, staring at the stars, thinking of her home, now ashes. Her people, now whispers. Eli worked at the controls, his fingers moving fast. Suddenly, a blinking red light. "Incoming transmission. Encrypted. Military signal. High clearance only." Eli's heart skipped. "Someone's found us," he said. He tried to block it. Reroute, jam, disable. But the signal pierced through every firewall like it already knew how. And then, a voice came through. Calm. Cold. Smooth as a blade. "Eli Draven, surrender the alien. You will be spared. Resist. And die." Eli looked at Eris. She was already standing. "They're here." He jumped to the pilot seat. "We have to move. Now." He pushed the ship into full drive, cutting through the dark like a bullet. But too late. Space behind them ripped open. A giant ship emerged, black and quiet, like a shadow pulled from a nightmare. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It just began closing the distance. Inside Eli's ship, alarm screamed. "We can't outrun that," Eris said. "It's a military-class hunter." "Maybe not," Eli said, eyes narrowing. "But we can outsmart it." He turned sharply into a nearby asteroid field. Giant floating rocks, spinning, crashing into each other, sharp as blades. "That'll kill us," Eris warned. "Not if I'm lucky." The ship dove into the chaos. The hunter followed. Rocks exploded. Metal scraped past stone. Every second could be their last. But Eli was fast and reckless. They twisted between two spinning asteroids, barely fitting. The hunter ship scraped the edge, sparks flying. "That bought us time," Eli said, panting. "Not enough." They reached the far edge of the asteroid field. Quiet again, but it wouldn't last. Eli went back to the upload. The data core was almost Finished. 88% complete. We just need 2 more minutes, he said. He glanced at Eris, but something was wrong. She was staring at him strangely. What? He asked. Where did you get your ship? She asked softly. He blinked. What? This ship. It's not commercial. It's ex-military. He paused. Yeah, it was decommissioned. I bought it cheap, fixed it myself. Eris stepped closer. Then why does it have military-grade security droids hidden in the floor? Eli was silent. Her voice hardened. Why did your ship know my species? Why did it scan me automatically the moment I stepped on board? Eli's face paled. What are you saying? I'm saying, she whispered. Someone set this up. Maybe not you. But someone wanted this exact meeting. They wanted you to find me. No, Eli said. I swear. I didn't know. Didn't you? She stepped back. How do I know you're not part of it? A cleaner. Sent to earn my trust. Then kill me when the time's right? Eli looked broken. Eris, I saved your life. Or did you just delay my death? The tension in the room was thicker than steel, but before he could answer, the ship rocked violently. Warning, boarding pods detected. They're here, Eli shouted. You still think this is coincidence? Eris snapped. I don't know anymore. Metal claws punched through the ship's side. 3 pods latched on. Doors hissed. Boots hit the floor. Elite soldiers poured into the hallway. Black armor. Red visors. Silent. Perfect. No warning. No words. Just death. Eli grabbed a weapon from the wall. Eris charged with a staff of light, her people's ancient tech. The battle began. Energy blasts flew, hallways filled with fire. Eris moved like lightning, flipping, dodging, striking, every move born from fury, pain, survival. Eli fought beside her, not perfect but brave. He covered her blind spots, blocked incoming blasts, dragged her away from a grenade blast. Blood ran down his arm. A burn scarred his side. He didn't stop, she noticed. Even now, he was still fighting for her. We need to get to the engine, Eli shouted. We can blow the backup core, kill the power and flush them out. And us? We'll survive. Maybe. Great plan. They ran. Behind. Them footsteps. The soldiers were not human. Not anymore. Something in them had changed. Too fast, too quiet. Implants or something worse. They reached the engine. Eli tore open the core panel. When I say run, run. Eli, go. He slammed a charge into the core. Counted. 5, 4, 3. They ran. The explosion was brutal. Fire roared through the ship. Metal twisted. The walls screamed. The blast threw them both into the cargo bay. They rolled, hit the ground. But the soldiers? Gone. Burned or thrown into space. The silence returned. Only the sound of fire crackling. Eli crawled to the terminal. Upload, 100% signal sent. Hours later, they floated in space. Engines dead. Systems offline. But they were alive. Just barely. Eris wrapped a blanket around herself. Eli sat against a wall, bleeding, eyes heavy. I'm sorry, he whispered. For everything. She didn't speak. Not for a long time. Then, softly, you still could have betrayed me. I didn't. You still might. I won't. She leaned her head back, closed her eyes. Trust is a fragile thing, Eli. I know. But maybe, she whispered, maybe it's still alive. Far away, the signal reached the network. The truth was out. But so were the hunters. And now, the real war would begin. The hidden colony. Themes: legacy, survival, hidden truths, clash of loyalty, and hope in broken places. The ship floated like a broken wing in the dark. Lights flickered, engines dead, air systems barely working. The last fight had cost them everything, except their lives. Eli lay on the floor of the cockpit, breathing slowly, eyes staring at the cracks in the ceiling. Eris sat nearby, arms around her knees, staring into space. They had sent the truth to the galaxy. And the galaxy had gone silent. No answers. No allies. No response. Maybe no one believes us, Eli whispered. Maybe they're too afraid to speak, Eris said. Or maybe, she thought, they don't care. But somewhere inside her, deep and quiet, hope still breathed, and with it, a memory. There was a place, Eris said suddenly. Eli looked up. What place? She stood slowly, her voice far away. A hidden colony, not part of the main city's secret. Only the elders knew. A place for our kind to go if the worst ever happened. Eli sat up. You think they survived? She nodded. I think they hid, just like we did. And maybe they're still waiting. You know where it is? She closed her eyes. I remember the stars. For the first time in days, the ship moved again. Barely. They rerouted power from non-critical systems, activated one engine, and limped through space, chasing the broken memory of a girl who lost everything, and might still have something left. They followed a forgotten path through dead space and no lanes, no satellites, just dust and silence. Hours passed, then days, until finally, a signal. Weak, hidden under layers of static, a rhythm, a pattern. Not human, not a trap. Eris smiled. They're alive. The signal led them to a small moon, cracked, half-burnt, lifeless from above, but beneath it, tunnels, miles of them, and at the end of one deep passage, shielded behind electromagnetic fog, a gate, ancient, glowing with Eris's people's symbol. Eli stared in awe. You weren't just hiding, he said. You built this. Eris stepped forward. Her fingers touched the surface. A soft light scanned her hand. The gate opened. Behind it, life, hidden gardens under artificial suns, soft blue grass, stone homes shaped like waves, children playing, elders watching. They stepped through, and all eyes turned to them, to Eris. She had come home, but home did not welcome them. Guards surrounded them within seconds. Long spears powered by energy. Cores pointed at Eli. An elder stepped forward. Tall, eyes clouded, voice deep. You brought a human here, he said to Eris. She bowed her head. He saved me. More than once. You should have left him to the stars. He is not like the others. The elder looked at Eli. They all start that way, soft, helpful, smiling, and then they bring fire. Eli didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He just said, You're right to be afraid, but this time they're not just hunting you, they're hunting us. He held up the data core, proof of Project Purity, the logs, the murders, the lies. The elder took it, but he did not look impressed. Truth doesn't stop bullets, he said. We've seen your kind's truth. It always comes with a blade. Eli was locked in a cell made of light. Eris was taken away to a council chamber deep underground. The elders argued. Some wanted to kill Eli. Others feared him. One, a younger voice, believed Eris. He sent the message, the young one said. He burned his own people to protect her. And what if that was part of the plan? The old ones asked. A trap to find our last safe place? We don't have time for fear, the young one said. They already found the others. If we wait, they'll find us too. But the vote was close, and Eris was not allowed to speak. Eli sat in the glowing cell, staring at the floor. He didn't beg, didn't shout. He just waited until Eris came to him. Her eyes were wet. They're splitting, she said. Some want to leave this place, others want to stay and fight, but most of them want me gone, Eli said. They're afraid. They should be. But I'm not, she said. She looked up at him. I believe in you. His voice cracked. Why? Because you believed in me, when I was just a voice in the dark. She touched the cell's edge, and for the first time, it dimmed. The door opened. Alarms blared through the colony. Not because Eli escaped, but because they were found. A new enemy had arrived. Not soldiers, not drones, but something worse. A synthetic weapon, humanoid, tall, bone-white skin with wires running through it, glowing eyes. No mouth, not created by humans, but used by them. Machines that could smell alien DNA. Hunters. 3 of them entered the tunnels, moving silently, killing instantly. Not with sound, not with fire, but with touch. One touch, and the victim fell lifeless, like the soul had been stolen. Chaos spread. Screams echoed through the halls. Eli and Eris ran toward the control center. They grabbed the young elder, the only one who trusted them. "You have to evacuate," Eli shouted. "You can't fight. These things we've hidden for decades," the young elder said. "We forgot how to run, then learn again." They led the children and elders to escape tunnels. A few brave fighters stayed behind with Eli and Eris. They set traps, rerouted power, collapsed halls behind them. 1 hunter fell, but 2 kept coming, unstoppable, until Eli activated the main reactor. "We overload this. The whole tunnel collapses, buries them." "And us," Eris said. "Not if we're fast." They ran through the collapsing tunnels, dust choking their lungs, walls falling. Behind them, the last hunter reached for Eris. Eli turned, fired a final shot into the ceiling. Stones crashed, crushing the hunter. The colony shook, but they made it out. Barely. Outside the moon, escape ships floated, refugees, survivors, not many, but enough. Eris looked around at the faces of her people, alive, watching, her trusting her. Then they looked at Eli, not with fear, but something softer. Respect. Maybe even hope. The young elder walked up to them. He gave Eli a communicator chip. "You still want to spread the truth?" "Yes," Eli said. "Then use this. Link it to every survivor cell. We'll send your message together." "And you?" Eli asked. "We find others. We rebuild. And when the time comes, we stand with you." Eris looked at Eli. "You said trust was fragile," she whispered. He nodded. "But sometimes," she said, "fragile things are the strongest, when they don't break." In the distance, a new signal blinked. A human ship, watching, but not attacking. Not yet, because now the war wasn't just hidden, it had witnesses. Hope in the arms of a human themes, redemption, sacrifice, unity, and love beyond fear. The stars outside flickered like fading memories. In the darkness between them, Eli's ship floated again, repaired, reinforced, but still carrying scars. Just like the people inside it. In one corner, Eli stood by the control panel staring at a blinking signal. Human ships, many of them, surrounding deep space, watching, waiting. In the other corner, Eris sat silently, her head resting against the cold glass window. Her people were safe, Nari for now. The hidden colony was gone, but survivors had scattered across the stars. Fragments of a broken race, searching for a future. The truth was out there now. The message had spread. But the galaxy was quiet, too quiet, and that silence felt like the final breath before a storm. "They're preparing for something," Eli said. "What do you mean?" Eris asked, turning her head. "They've gone dark. No broadcasts, no movements. It's like they're holding their breath." Eris stood, walked closer, her arms folded tightly. "What if they're planning a final strike?" she asked. "Then we strike first." She frowned. "That's not you talking." "No," Eli whispered. "That's me changing." He looked at her. "I don't want to fight. But if they come for you again, I won't stand by." She stared at him. Quiet. Then she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small crystal. The heartstone of her people. It glowed softly in her palm. "This was once given to warriors before battle," she said. "Not as a weapon, as a promise. If they fell, the crystal would guide their soul home." She placed it into Eli's hand. "You're one of us now." The ship's radio crackled to life. A voice, not military, not robotic, A woman. Calm. Measured. Too perfect. Eli Draven. This is Admiral Nova Kane, daughter of Admiral Kane. Eris stepped forward, her jaw clenched. We have reviewed your transmission, your files, your claims. You've made a lot of noise, but noise does not change history. Eli pressed the mic. You're lying to your own people. And you are embracing the lies of an enemy race, a dying one. They're alive. And they'll stay that way. Not if you keep fighting us. A pause. Come to us, alone. Hand over the alien. We'll offer peace. Protection. Eli laughed bitterly. You burned her world, and now you want to protect her? That was a different time. No, he said. It was yesterday. You have 24 hours to comply, or we'll treat you both as enemies of humanity. The signal cut. The silence that followed was heavy. Then Aris said, They won't wait 24 hours. I know. What do we do? Eli looked at her. We finish what we started. They called together every remaining ship from the hidden network. The ones who had received the data core, the survivors, the broken, the few. Some were alien. Some were human. Rogue scientists, ex-soldiers, freethinkers, rebels. They formed a loose fleet, no army but a voice. Eli stood on the command deck looking at their screens. Then he pressed a button and went live. Across a dozen sectors, his voice rang out. This is Eli Draven. You know me by now. I was part of the system, trained by it, lied to by it. But now, I choose the truth. We're not enemies because we're different. We're enemies because fear made us. But fear only wins when we... Stay quiet. He paused, looked at Eris. So here we are, not soldiers, just people, standing between the future and the fire. If you want to fight for something real, join us. If not, watch what we do next. The signal ended. They moved toward the human blockade. One ship against many. It looked like suicide. But then, on the scanner, one ship broke formation. Then, another and another. Eli's message had worked. Not all humans agreed with the silence. Not all believed the old lies. And some were ready to stand. Inside the command ship of the human military, Admiral Nova Kane stared at her screens with cold eyes. Traitors, she said softly. Orders, ma'am, a soldier asked. Nova turned. Burn them all. The first shot came fast. A pulse beam aimed at Eli's ship. He dodged. Barely, but the fight had begun. Ships turned on each other. Some fired, some ran, some shielded the weak. In the chaos, Eli pushed forward, heading straight for Nova's command ship. You're not serious, Eris said. Very, Eli replied. That ship has hundreds of soldiers. I'm not going in to fight. Then what? To end this. They reached the outer hull. Eli and Eris boarded using a stealth pod, slipping in through a maintenance hatch. Alarms blared. Soldiers moved. Eli didn't fire. He just ran. Straight toward the command bridge, with Eris beside him. They reached it. Nova Kane stood waiting, guards at her sides. You actually came, she said. You lied, Eli replied. Your father lied, and you're still doing it. We made peace possible, she said calmly. We united Earth, by silencing others, by surviving. Then, she looked at Eris. You were supposed to be extinct. Eris stepped forward, her voice like ice. And you were supposed to be human. Nova raised a weapon, but Eli stepped in front of Eris. You want to kill someone? Start with me. Nova hesitated, just for a second, a long second. In that moment, Eris threw the crystal, the heartstone, into the air, a blinding pulse. Nova screamed, the ship's lights shut down, and when they came back, Nova's weapon was gone. So were the guards. Just Eli, Eris, and Nova, on her knees, beaten not by fire but by light. The battle outside stopped. Ships ceased fire. A message went out from Nova's ship. Stand down. Cease all attacks. Mission is over. No one knew exactly what happened. Some said Nova surrendered. Others said she saw something in Eris's eyes. Something that made her stop. But none of that mattered, because the killing stopped, and for the first time, hope spoke louder than fear. Weeks later, a small base was built on a neutral moon. Human and alien leaders stood side by side. Agreements were made, truths confessed, wounds acknowledged. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and it began something new. Under a starlit sky, Eli and Eris sat on a metal platform, watching ships fly above. He turned to her. "Do you think they'll ever stop being afraid?" She looked at him. "I don't know," she said, "but I'm not afraid anymore." He smiled. "Neither am I." Then she leaned in, placed her hand on his, and whispered, "I found hope in the arms of a human."